Yeah. What I want to talk to you guys about is the concept of morality. Is morality rational? Because people in the past have said that morality is nothing more than a human construct, And they use examples such as Hinduism. People in Hinduism think that eating things like beef is disgusting. And just in general, for different cultures, it's been around for some time that they believe that some things we do is something disgusting and is reprehensible. It's the most disgusting thing you could do. And at the same time, on the other side of the spectrum, some of the things they do, we consider disgusting. So, apparently some people believe that morality is nothing more than human imagination. Just some human being who some time ago in the past said that this is disgusting and was a big person, powerful person, and just influenced everybody. But I'm here to tell you it is rational. And to not get it twisted, I'm not a Christian, okay? And you don't have to be a Christian to know this. But the reason why that morality is rational is you have to look at something, okay? Is that for morality, one thing that's true is that if you're a moral person, it gives you a good reputation. Because if you have someone in life, who insults you, because just in general, everywhere you go, you're never going to get along with people. That's what most of us, our parents told us when we were young. That in life, there's always going to be people who you're not going to get along with, okay? And if you get into an argument with that person, like let's just say maybe you bump into somebody, and they say, what's wrong with you? And he just freaks out and you say, calm down, calm down. Like you did that same stuff. You used to do a lot of bump into me all the time. You have issues. And they might simply say, well, unlike you, I didn't do so and so and so and so. Like maybe they might say, your breath smells bad. I heard that you're a dirt bag, that you eat like you probably ate like crap or something. And then next thing you know, the whole class is laughing and you feel embarrassed. Of course, possibly you didn't eat crap, but it just goes to show you that it's good to not do every and anything, because if you want if you get in an argument with somebody, if you do every and anything, it is so easy for people to insult you, to be honest with you. Really, it is so easy to insult you. And if someone gets you angry, just in general, what are you going to say about them? Every single insult you can imagine, you could say, you've probably done, or just in general, if you haven't done every single thing that you can insult them back with, you might throw an insult and say, you're fat, and he'll say, or you're stupid, and they'll just simply say, well, at least I didn't cry my eyes out when I was doing my work, and you're a freaking grown man. You see what I'm saying? So, in general, if you want to not deal with negative people, it's just best you don't get into that. Not to mention it also has other repercussions, because to be honest with you, you have to realize something. What are you going to say, People cannot say those negative things. I hope if you do that, that's against the fundamentals of a democracy. And people in North America, we take pride in having a democracy, okay? If people don't have rights to freedom of speech, and that's the point of freedom of speech, if you have freedom of speech, you can say every and anything that you want to, or at least almost anything, as long as it doesn't incite violence. And that's the truth about it. If you don't follow the codes of morality, you just have this whole do what you want to do sort of mentality, how are you, and you're very open emotionally, you just do what the heck you want to do, how are you going to be able to get in the real world, okay? Because you have to realize, going through situations you don't like and resisting temptation is a part of of learning how to build up emotional resilience. If you don't do that, how are you gonna learn how to debate? What if it's for an important issue? Okay, in life, how are you gonna do that? Because you because you're not able to deal with the stress of confrontation. You haven't built that up emotionally. You haven't built up that level of emotional resilience. Being able to handle the stress of not having to do what you want to do, what you don't want to do. What I mean by that is you just don't have that ability to handle it. Because honestly, if people had no morality, people would probably just do every and anything, and would have no shame and crying and being open. And how are you going to deal with that in the real world? How are you going to deal with if you're doing a job interview? You're dealing with other people. People are always criticizing you in your workplace, and so just in general, it's just not a good idea. And just in general, in regular life, how are you going to have the ability to have willpower? If you're not used to, if you're used to doing every and anything you feel like, except according to these people that say is morality rational, how are you going to be able to be in the general public, and just in the general public, just not feeling too well, and be able to handle situations where you have to do what you don't want to do, just in general for anything, and that's also another issue with this idea of no morality, is honestly, if you do not have morals, you're gonna have a severe identity crisis, such as having nothing to believe in. Because if you do every and anything that you want to do, okay, I know some people might say, well, that's not going to happen, but which I find foolish, because honestly, where does the line get drawn? People so-and-so a couple decades ago might have said, this is disgusting. Now the experts come out and say, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually reported in Nature. And you're just like, what the hell? And it just in general, man, it's just an example of a gateway thing. One person's going to do this, then they're going to do that. They're going to feel a bit bad, but at the same time, they might feel like they're going to gain something from it. They're going to experience pleasure, and they're just simply going to say, well, morality is irrational, because they're not used to having that resilience. So honestly, that's the truth about it. It's not a good condition. You just in general, you have nothing to believe in, in a situations like that. It's like voting. It's like wanting the same team, watching a football game or a basketball game, and always not caring which team to root for. You just want to see a good game. It just creates a situation where you don't care about anything, okay? And this is not from personal experience, because people might put words in my mouth. This is not from personal experience. This is just speaking common sense, okay? Because honestly, where do you feel that sense of pride? Where do you feel that sense of, I believed in something, because that you know, and I push through to the very end, you know, because everybody has something they naturally consider disgusting, and if and if we live in a more or less society, there's probably going to be situations you might have someone you might consider it disgusting, but someone else might not consider it disgusting, and they're just going and probably the so-called people in power are just simply going to say, you know, I hope you know morality is nothing more than a human construct. What do you think is going to happen then? You know, you're just going to do every and anything you want to do. Like, it's honestly not a good idea. So honestly, that is... So in conclusion, you know, try to do everything in life, but don't try to do every and anything, you know, because some things are just not worth the risk taking. Seriously.